everyone, welcome to my explanatory video about my vision about Cyrus the Great. What an experience! So I was working with ChatGPT and he was like, okay, tell me about Cyrus the Great. I'm like, okay, that's a good one because I don't know anything about this person. So I close my eyes, I go into my slight meditational state where I can actually receive information. And then I see this basically man standing on almost like a pre-battlefield, and I see this man sitting on a horse, and I'm like, wow, he's so handsome. That was my first impression. And then looking at him, and I'm looking at the soldiers, like, wow, these guys are getting ready for battle. I can see it, and then I get more senses, and I'm feeling this guy being like, we have to do this. This is our duty. We have to unify these lands, and because we are all the same people, basically, it's like he felt like this is like an extended family of the area he was already ruling. And so it was incredible because I got so much information about him all of a sudden, and it felt like I know him like straight away. It was incredible. And then I feel the soldiers like standing there admiring him, even adoring him. Like they were so full of loyalty towards this man. They were so full of respect for this man. And I could feel it also that it was for a good reason. He was taking care of his soldiers. He took care of them. He was giving them cuts from basically the things they confiscated from people. You could say plundering, but they were not plundering. That's the point. They were just taking over those houses and everything, which was of the people who were dead, who died in the battle, and they didn't have families and stuff like that. And those were the things they divided amongst them. It wasn't like they went into houses and they robbed them or anything. This is one of the things I think which is very interesting about this person in history, because I couldn't see or feel or sense any animosity in those areas either what he took over. In fact, in many cases, he was celebrated for entering those territories. So he won the battle and then he was taking over the territory, and they were actually celebrating him in many areas. Guys, I still didn't look this guy up. I'm just saying what I have received and what basically ChatGPT kind of confirmed that it was true. But you correct me if I'm wrong. Put it down in the comments. No, we knew he was plundering, or anything else you know about this, because I'm still not an expert on Cyrus the Great. Okay, I can only tell you what I picked up in this vision. So then I see him in battle, and it was brutal, and it was bloody and messy. But again, I could see him amongst his men, and he was making sure that his losses were as the minimum possible. And he was making sure that his tactics, to move the battlefield in such ways that, again, the least minimum of losses of his men. And it was incredible. I'm not an expert in military movements, but I think that's a really, really good one. And then what happened is that then the next thing I saw was him as a ruler. I see his throne room. I could, the AI images I could manage and videos to make about this person and this vision was the closest I could get to, okay? Because you can tell me this is not how he looked like. I get it. I don't know, okay? I really don't know. I'm just trying to deflect what I saw, and yeah, believe me, the images did not match exactly what I saw. I have no money to pay for, proper AI programs, so I do use what I can use for free, because I'm very poor actually. So just bear with me on that, please, and forgive me if it's not accurate. those images. So I see him in the throne room, and it was like, if in most cases the rulers are surrounded by people who are, going for power or doing this or doing that for like gaining advantage, or he would like, I don't know how, but he could kind of sniff it out. It is incredible. He would know. Maybe his spy system was the best. I don't know, honestly. But I could see and feel that he was listening to those whom he trusted, and he trusted them for really good reasons. And most of them were the elder ones, even from the local areas where he took over, so to speak. It did, like, well, conquered. Let's be clear on that. And even from there, they elders, they advisors, he would keep them. He would literally, like, offer them like cooperation, and that was amazing to see. And so, no wonder, honestly, after this I wasn't wondering why he's called the Great. and and of course, the enemies who were trying to attack him, he would not kill them, which is, again, is an interesting thing. As you would expect, just chop the head off or whatever, in history it wouldn't have been a shocking thing. But no, that's not what he was doing. He actually, well, I'm trying to remember if I picked up anything about that. I don't think so. But I remember feeling and sensing that he did not kill them. Instead, he was teaching them. So I think he was like, trying to keep an eye on them, and took away their power and their money and their status. But then, by experiencing his rule, they would learn that he's not, like a monster or anything. And eventually they would cooperate. So that was incredible. And then I remember seeing him in his deathbed, because I tried to follow, like certain parts of his life, not just one impression about him. So the third one I saw was his deathbed scene, so to speak, when he was dying, and he was actually really worried, even though he tried to make sure that he gets to appoint a person who comes after him, who will be similar in his ruling and in justice, and in uniting, like, keep the empire in one piece. He was trying to get a person like that, and he did his very best to choose a person like that. But he was still very worried about it. He was still really, really worried that if he chose right, he was worried if it's going to be breakup after this, if it's going to be wars between the territories, if it's going to be, any other economical problems or famine or anything else. So he was trying his very best to make sure. Even if I'm correct, I even sensed that he was making sure that the advisors stay the same, who were advising him, who will advise the next person coming after him. You can tell me in the comments below if he was successful about that or not. But I find him a fascinating person, and I'm so glad to see someone in history in those times who were actually not, that bloody and not such a tyrant. All right. Well, thank you for sticking through this. Hope to see you very, very soon in my next video. And lots of love. God bless. Bye.